Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yuki Suzuki. I'm from Chukyo University, Japan. This presentation is titled Biomechanical Study on Different Directions for Running Jumps. Focus on the takeoff preparation. Let's move on the background.
Jumping with approach running jumps, such as in long jumps and basketball running shots, has been observed and analyzed in a number of sports. Running jumps mainly consist of 5 phases, which are approach run, takeoff preparation, takeoff, air, and landing. And considerable research has been conducted on takeoff, which is considered particularly important. Additionally, most studies on running jumps has focused on jumping higher or further, typically for track and field jumps. The direction of the jump is determined by the takeoff. However, it is difficult to control takeoff in a short time. It is necessary to focus on the preceding takeoff preparation. This study aimed to clarify the difference in center of gravity, CG parameters, from 3 steps before takeoff, during the jump action, running jump, with approach runs for different jump directions. Let's move on the methods. 5 collegiate male track and field athletes participated in this study. The following 3 skills were performed with utmost effort. First, approach run without takeoff. Second, jumping as far as possible. And third, jumping as high as possible. I will show the video of attempts. First, this is run attempt. Second, this is LJ attempt. Third, this is HJ attempt. Participants were instructed to follow the binary line. The number of approach run steps was set to 5. In data collection, a 3-dimensional motion capture system, 250 Hz, was used to obtain coordinate data for each part of the body, 41 points. The calculated items included the longest and highest point achieved, calculated from the CZ velocity when taking off from the ground, horizontal velocity, vertical velocity, takeoff angle, and CZ height. The phases from approach run to takeoff are presented in this figure. L3, L2, and L1 refer to 3, 2, and 1 steps before takeoff, respectively. On and off refer to contact with the ground. TD is contact with the ground before takeoff, and TO is takeoff from the ground. For comparison of CZ parameters between experiment attempts, run, LJ, and HJ. One when repeated measures ANOVA and Bonferroni's post hoc test were performed. The significance level was set at P less than 5%. Let's move on to the result. The main effect on horizontal velocity between tests was observed at TO in decreasing order of run, LJ, and HJ. The main effect of vertical velocity between tests was observed at L2 on, L1 off, TD, and TO. The values for LJ were smaller than that of HJ at L2 on. At L1 off, values decreased in the order of run, Lj, and Hj. The values for run were smaller than those of Lj and Hj at Td and To. The main effect on takeoff angle between tests was observed at L1 off and To. At L1 off, values decreased in the order of run, Lj, and Hj. Run during To was significantly smaller than Lj and run. The main effect on CG height between tests was observed at L1 off, Td, and To. The values for Hj was smaller compared with run and Lj at L1 off. Run, Lj, and Hj sequentially decreased during Td. Run, Lj, and Hj are sequentially increased during To. Hj has higher by reducing the increase in vertical velocity on press step and transitioning to the takeoff at a low CG, making it easier to increase takeoff angle. In Lj, an easier takeoff angle increase was achieved in the same manner as Hj. Therefore, Lj was further. However, because in Lj, vertical velocity needs to increase while avoiding a loss of horizontal velocity. Neither vertical velocity nor CZ position changed significantly, and there was no takeoff preparation as in Hj. There was a takeoff preparation executed in a manner similar to run. In conclusion, significant differences were observed in not only the takeoff phase, but also in the takeoff preparation phase of the CG parameters in three different trajectory tests: run, Lj, and Hj. Thus, it was suggested that the takeoff preparation phase affects the direction of the jump. Hj was higher when the increase in vertical velocity on press step was reduced and by transitioning to the takeoff at a low CG, making it easier to increase takeoff angle. Additionally, while the decrease in horizontal velocity was restricted in Lj, the takeoff angle was increased similar to that in Hj, and the jump was farther. Therefore, adjusting vertical velocity and CG height one step before takeoff can influence takeoff angle. Thank you for your kind attention. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.